In this section of the tutorial, we're going to talk about placing orders, whether futures or options, from the standard order entry ticket. We are going to be working off of the page titled DT View. This is a page that we've created for our brokerage clients. If you're a client of ours or if you're running a trial on our platform, send us an email and we'll make sure you have a link to this to add it to your platform so you can use this page if you so choose. Of course, you could just open your own page and add the widget that we're talking about, which is the standard order entry window. If you choose trade and go to trade order entry, it'll populate this window. Again, you may have a different layout, you may have it organized different, but this window will always be the same. This widget will always be the same. We're going back to our DT view, and I also have created in this view 2 tabs to our trading window. One is a hot order ticket, and we'll go through that in a different tutorial. We're simply focusing on standard order entry ticket. There's a lot going on here. I'm going to expand it so we can see it just a little better. And let me explain how this ticket works. Obviously, this is the symbol, the trading symbol. In theory, you can type in any position you want to trade. So if you're looking to trade the S&P, the symbol's EP, and you can search from this box below. If you're looking to trade corn, you could do it this way and change the symbol. Now we're trading corn. As I have mentioned in previous tutorials, we have everything working on our page, and this is what we recommend that our clients do through the quote board. So if I click on 30-year bond here, it changes my chart, but it also changes my order entry ticket. You can see the symbol now is to the 30-year bond, which is USA Z24. That may not be the symbol you're used to. This platform uses some trading symbols that are a little different than other popular platforms. So that's one part of the learning curve that we'll have to work through. If I click on gold, my order ticket changes to gold along with my chart. So let's go ahead and expand this and place a trade. Obviously, you can choose buy or sell. That's the first thing you're going to want to do. Make sure you choose the right direction. You can change your quantity very easily by toggling up or down. This is pretty standard in almost any platform. You can also highlight it and type it in. Not very many people should be trading 10 lots. The price is going to follow the bid and the ask. You can pause it if you don't like it running around on you. Just click the pause button. And then you can play it again if you want it to follow the market, not follow the market. I'm going to pause it so we can hold things still. And I can scroll down or up to change my price. Now keep in mind, I have this expanded. You do not have to expand it. If you're the type that likes to see where the market is, where the chart is, you can certainly rearrange this in any way you want by dragging and dropping windows. We've gone through that in a previous tutorial, in the workspace tutorial, if you want to revisit that. I would leave this ticket open and visible for all this other information. Like, I'd like to see everything all at one time. I wouldn't personally expand it. To be honest, if you notice, it doesn't really get a whole lot bigger anyway. So we can see the price of gold. We can see the chart of gold if we wanted to, and we can place our trade accordingly. So if I wanted to place a sell up here, I could have sell, and I'm going to put it a few ticks above. Here's something that most people don't recognize right away on this platform. If you wish to use the parameters up above, meaning if you want to use a limit order and name your price, the way to submit that order is to hit this button here, this long button at the bottom. You can see it says sell 1, gold, 26.48.10, limit order for the day. So I'm going to click that. We're going to place the order. We now see this order in our working orders window, very easily visible right next to our order entry ticket. If you do not wish to place a limit order and bother with toggling, in other words, if your goal is to just simply get into the market as quickly as possible, you can hit this button to sell at the market, and of course toggle to buy at the market. If you would like to sell the offer or sell the ask, you can use this button. It automatically adjusts the price with the market. If you want to sell at the bid, meaning sell at, it roughly ends up being a market order is what happens, but you can name your price and sell at the bid if you'd like. You can hit this button. So these 3 buttons are just very quick order entry. You don't have to worry about toggling price up or down. Hit the button and you're good to go. I'll sell one at the market. And obviously we're filled right away. I'm going to close this. I will show you a couple of tricks in a later tutorial about how to use this order notification to its fullest potential. And it's actually a pretty nice feature. Some might think that it's annoying to see an order ticket pop up, but I'll show you eventually how convenient this is. Now, if you really wanted to, you could change your settings so that you don't get these no order confirmations. If you don't want to see this pop up, you can set the platform to refrain from doing that. There's a refresh button here, so if I want to basically start from scratch, I can refresh this button. Something that I find very convenient is this platform will show you any open orders that you have right in the order ticket. So I am short 1 December gold. You can see that right here. I'm short from 26.47.20. I'm making $100. I can see it right in my order ticket. If I wanted to offset this, I would click buy at market, and that would get me out. There are other ways to offset those, and I can show you that in a minute. I'm just trying to show you the basic functionality of this. So we're going to go ahead and sell that back at the market to get short again. Okay, we're short again. Here's our position. Here's our profit and loss. If you're paying attention, you may notice the numbers up in our open P&L are a little different than what we see here. And there's a reason for that. I'm working on a demo with delayed data. So if I'm placing a market order, it's probably getting filled at the market price, not the delayed price. So please bear with us. We're doing the best we can. Most people don't understand how it works, but demos are very expensive for brokerages to offer because the exchange charges data fees for the demo accounts. The exchange wants their money whether you're trading a live account or a demo account. Okay, back to the order entry ticket. You can toggle the order type, a limit order, a market order, a stop loss order, or a stop limit order, or a stop order. In the vast majority of situations, I recommend placing a stop order, not a stop limit order. A stop limit order is an order in which you specify how much slippage you're willing to take, and that sounds like a great idea in theory. But the problem with stop limit orders is you're limiting the amount of slippage you're willing to take, but if the exchange can't fill you within that stop limit price, your order just gets hopped over. So it's basically like you didn't have any stop order at all. So you have literally no risk management in place if the market gets volatile and hops over your stop limit. Now, most people don't understand this, but a traditional stop order is actually a stop limit as well. The exchange has a limit on what they believe would be a reasonable fill based on current market conditions. They actually have a functioning mechanical system that treats your stop as a stop limit. So if there's something really wild that happens, let's say the market gaps higher or lower through your stop, either on a reopen or maybe even just during a trading session if things are just really out of hand. So for example, 2020, when the COVID meltdown happened, there was a lot of those sorts of things going on and catching traders by surprise where they put their stop order in, but the exchange couldn't fill those orders within a reasonable price range. And so the exchange just jumped right over the order. And traders, it was kind of a rude awakening to a lot of traders because they didn't understand that stops were not a guarantee. They work almost all the time. I mean, I don't want to put a percentage, but it's probably 99.9999% of the time they're going to work, but there's going to be occasions that they don't work. So essentially the traditional stop order is actually a stop limit order in itself. But if you're trying to nickel and dime the market and say, I want my stop here, but I only will accept a tick or two of slippage, you're going to have some surprises and they're not going to be pleasant ones. Okay, so the limit order that I placed in gold was filled. We sold another contract at 26.48.10. And now you can see in the order entry window that we have 2 short positions with a little bit of a profit. So if we change our order type to stop and we want to place a buy stop on these positions, I'm going to toggle to 2 lots because we have 2. I can use this toggle feature, but that's kind of a pain in the butt. I can also just simply type in the price. And again, if we're using the stipulated price here and these features here, we're going to use this big bar at the bottom, place our order. I now have the stop loss working. If I wanted to offset my position at the market, I could click buy market. If I wanted to buy the ask, I could click this button. If I wanted to buy the bid, I could click this button. But again, one more time, anytime that we're using the specified price and order type, we use the big bar at the bottom. Of course, if you want your order to be good till canceled, you can toggle this option here, good till canceled, good till date. You can specify how long you want that order to be working. You can suspend it in a day plus X number of hours or however you want to set it up. You can also choose fill and kill or fill or kill. Most of our clients probably aren't going to utilize orders like that. It's obviously good till date, good till canceled, and day order are probably going to be the three primary functions that our clients use. And you should be aware of this capability. If you're placing stop orders, the vast majority of you should be placing good till canceled orders. So you may even want to make this your default order type. You can do that in the settings. This platform does offer trailing stops and trailing limits. To be 100% honest, I don't know. I don't really understand the trailing limit order concept. To me, that just sounds like chasing prices. So it's not something I would use, but if you really want to give it a shot, you can try it. To enable trailing, if you click on this button that's previously grayed out, you notice the dialog says enable, disable trailing order mode. If I click on that, it highlights it. And we can see that trailing stop is selected. You can open dialog boxes and specify how you want these to trail. By default, the trailing stop would move for every 5 ticks that the market moves profitably for the position. The stop would trail accordingly. So that's the default setting. You can override default settings by using this menu here. We're going to go over that in a different tutorial, but I just wanted to point out that trailing stops are a possibility. And you can see there's lots of different options and overrides, and it gets a little bit complicated. To turn off trailing stop, click the highlighted button there and turn it back to gray. Anything in this platform, if it's enabled, it'll be colored. If it's disabled, it's gray. So keep that in mind. You can also enter OCO orders, create brackets. Again, we're going to do this in a different tutorial. We're trying to just keep this one simple to order entry. But if you did want to enable brackets, you could highlight it. And you could even highlight it as a bracket and a trailing stop. So you could do those simultaneously if you'd like to. This platform also has the capability of parking orders. So if you wanted to just enter orders in advance, but you didn't want them to be working or active, you just wanted to go through the motions and get it set up just in case you wanted to send them. So if you do want to park your order, you can click on this dialog here and you can park now. You can park and activate in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You can customize it. So again, if you hit park, if you highlighted that, I'm going to go ahead and place a parked order. Park, you can see it highlights right there. So I parked that order. You can see it's not in my working orders. This was an order that we had previously placed, a buy stop in our gold. But if I go to orders parked, I will see the order that I just parked, and I can then click on this button and choose to activate it. If your page does not have a parked orders tab, and it may not, you can easily add it by clicking on add a widget, going to trade, and then go to orders parked, and that'll add that tab for you. To turn off the parking, we're going to unhighlight this bar right here, and this brings us back to normal trade mode. I'm going to reset everything. That gives you a pretty good idea of how this order entry ticket window would work. I want to point out just a couple of things. I already mentioned that you can see your position and your P&L right there in the order entry window. If you click on this drop down right here, it's going to give you a few options. You can cancel your orders. You can really do anything you want right out of this little box. Open it in a fresh widget. You can flatten everything. You can cancel everything. So keep in mind there's some functionality there that may not be obvious. In the same way that we're placing futures orders, we can also place option orders. Now, you can search for option symbols right here in the search box, but that's probably not the most efficient way to do it. The best way to do it is to open an option chain and enter the symbols right into your quote board. I'll show you how to do that in a later tutorial, but just for the purposes of displaying how an option trade might work in this order ticket, we're going to go ahead and click on our options tab here in the quote board. This is where we have some options sitting that we've been monitoring. I'm going to click on the December S&P 5400 put. It's worth about $15 to $16 in premium. That's roughly $750, $800. You can see a chart here of this particular option. I'm going to switch it to daily so it's not quite as ugly. It's a demo, so it's not getting all the data that it normally would, but it does give you an idea of what that option price has been in the last couple of days. With this option selected, it populates my order ticket and I can choose to buy or sell this option. Same features. I can increase the price, I can decrease the price. I can place a stop order. You really generally don't want to place stop orders on options. It's a complicated scenario because the bid-ask spread's wide and you can get filled when you don't think you should have been filled. Simply market spikes or bouts of illiquidity or something unusual might trigger your stop in it and you might be very unhappy. So it's generally not the best way to do it. Maybe the best way is to place price alerts. Go to the alert icon, add a price alert on a particular product, and you can just enter this option symbol in here and do it that way. That might be the best way to monitor your position. But again, everybody's different. You do you. Do what is best for you. Same idea though. If you wanted to enter your parameters and enter that order, you would click this button down at the bottom. In one of the next tutorials, I'm going to show you an option trading page that we've developed for our clients. It's going to be a little easier for you to navigate and pick products and symbols and things like that. So don't worry, it gets easier. I'm just showing you the basic capabilities of placing option orders in this window. There are better ways to do it. And as far as the positions that we have placed, you'll see them obviously in the positions window. And as a reminder, you can go flat everything by clicking on this icon. You can close your position by clicking on this icon. You can liquidate, which means it's going to send a market order as opposed to a limit order this way. And you can even reverse your position by clicking on this button. So there's lots of ways to exit any position that you've put on once you've got it on. And you can cancel any working orders here in this window. So I went short gold, I placed a buy stop. If I want to cancel it, I can click on this and cancel it, or I can modify it. If I modify the order, the ticket comes up and I can toggle my price up or down. And a few last things here. I've pointed this out in previous tutorials, but I want to show you what it looks like in real time. I have added columns in the quote board. I'm going to go ahead and expand this, that show our positions and our working orders. So you can see I'm short 2 gold. I'm losing a few dollars. I have a buy stop here. I can click on this if I want to modify or close or cancel the order. And on the quote board itself, it also shows me my position. If I click on soybeans, it changes my positions. I'm short 1 soybean. You can see that here. So obviously, I can also offset or add to my trade by clicking on these buttons here. If I have it selected, make sure you have the right product selected. And lastly, it's possible to see your orders and positions on the chart as well. So if I click on this button, I'm going to reset everything. You can see my stop orders right here. It's this little light blue line. My short position are shown with these arrows. So you can see your position right there on the chart window as well. In the next tutorial, we're going to provide a little more detail on viewing working orders, filled orders, and completed orders in this platform.